It's time to check out some Copper Age comics. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Still Only 35 Cents. A very short one in the intro this time. Didn't run my main combined intro. Perhaps we should. Good morning and good evening and good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to Still Only 35 Cents. This is the Merry Monday Mailcall Show. We've got some mail call to share with you, some comic books. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. This is one of two shows planned for today. We will be having our mega members mail call show shortly after this, about an hour and a half later. So if you're a member, make sure you join for that. We will have some really interesting unboxings, including this, which is a massive Silver Age key. So if you want to see keys and big keys, that's the stream for you. So if you haven't already, please consider joining the membership, which is the price variance. We did our sketch show yesterday, and Rob got his Adam Strange. Let's just bring it up so you can see it. That's on his way to Rob at Heroes Con, Rob Fatstacks of Comics. So he'll be getting this Adam Strange sketch. So super happy to do that. And we have a new winner. One of our new members, Mike Washburn, won, and he's already reached out, and he will be getting a Wolverine sketch. Here's the prelim for you folks. Still to do, a lot to do on that. But yes, great. And you'll be having them in about an hour's time. We will have some interesting books to go through. We do have a few people in the chat. I will be highlighting said people, and we will be seeing and having a conversation as we go through these books. So a little bit changed in lighting today, a bit more ambiance. So hopefully you enjoy that. Let's see who's here. The toy box. He was first again. So congratulations. Welcome to the show. Great to see you and to have you here. I forgot to turn on my brand new shiny comment box, which is now going to start popping up in the right, apparently, but we'll see how that goes. And Will, Mr. VW Vlogs. Vogs. I don't know why I call him Vlogs, but it's Vogs. Hello, sir. Great. Can't wait to see you. Be good to catch up at Heroes. He's referring to the legendary Heroes Con. If you're not going to Heroes Con, we will be having heaps of coverage, and we'll be catching up with a lot of the community here. So it's great to see you all and to see you, Will. Always a pleasure. So yes, looking forward to it, mate. I will drop the link into the chat. If anyone would like to join, I'm more than happy to have someone on as we go through these books. So I will pop that in the chat. So there you have it. Dan's Comic Corner is here. Dan's. I can't see. Dan's. Of course it's Dan's. Dan's Comics Corner. There you go. Welcome to the show. Let's bring over the overhead view. The link is now in the chat if anyone would like to join. And we'll see how we go with the show. So let's bring it up. Oh, what's going on there? I think that's the wrong camera. Let's try again. Stop extra camera. Start extra camera. Oh, I know why. I know exactly why. Oh, I put it through the wrong feed, and now it'll work. There you go. Now, my question for the chat. Before we do that. Hi, Christina. Oh, no. Dan just jumped in. Christina Payne is here. Good to see you, Christina. Again, another one going to our Heroes Con, so that'll be great to see Christina in person. And as you can see, the chat's now coming up. Question for you, chat. Would you like this view? And I can move that to there. I don't know if that works either. That view or the traditional view, which is this one, which probably does work better. So you get more of the books and less of me, which is always a good thing. So welcome. We have Sleepy Reader 666. Hello. Good to see you too. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We have the first book in the mix. We also have JSS Brooklyn in the house too. Good morning or good evening to you, sir. Always a pleasure to have you here. And welcome. Looking forward to seeing you at Heroes as well. It's like everyone's going to Heroes. So it's going to be a lot of fun having everyone around. And of course, oh my gosh, the chat's going so quickly. I keep Vincent's here as well. Good evening, good morning to you as well. And Carrie, I got the name right, I think, this time. Welcome to the show. Hello. Have I got everyone now in the chat? A whole bunch of conversations going on, which is great. So, yes. So this is 2008. I think I've shown this before, but it's not the same book. It's another new one. The one I had was slightly lower grade, and I think I got it from an Australian comic fair. This I got from Dave and Rachel at Bronze and Modern Gods. This is 2000 AD monthly, issue 1, featuring Judge Dredd and a plethora of characters from 2000 AD. All of these books are Copper Age, and if they're not, correct me in the chat, but I'm pretty sure they're all Copper Age. So Copper Age for me, I'm classified as late 70s, early 80s to late 80s. So the entire 80s run. I did have a couple of very early 90s that almost made the cut, but I couldn't justify it because, they're not really Copper Age. Whereas these are sort of when I was in my heyday of collecting comics. So a lot of fond memories for me here. So super happy to see it. Let's give you a sense. So I got this as a near mint plus, super high grade. So again, happy to have this. I'm not sure. I'm not going to get it graded. But the thing that strikes me first of all is this fantastic Brian Bolland cover. And you would have seen it in the thumbnail, but it's just a plethora of different characters from 2000 AD. You do get the introduction, first US appearance of Strontium Dog, first US appearance of DR and Quince, that a classic Alan Moore story illustrated by Alan Davis. So we have a Judge Dredd story in here with art by Ron Smith and story by John Wagner. I believe from the Cursed Earth storyline. It looks very Cursed Earth to me. There's your DR and Quince. DR and Quince go straight. And again, the colouring on these, traditionally in 2000 AD, these were all black and white. And when they came to the US for Eagle Comics, they were coloured in each of those books. So it's a great one for me to pick up because I do have the entire, pretty much the entire run of 2000 AD now. So having these books alongside is fantastic. You'll see here as well the way that Dave and Rachel really protect these books. They've got a backing board at the back, and then in the midsection, they also put an additional backing board to provide that extra support. So they do pack their books exceptionally well and grade very well as well. So you're always pretty sure you're going to get a decent book with a decent grade. And there is Carlos Esquera and Alan Grant's Strontium Dog in Death's Head. First appearance of Johnny Alpha, main protagonist. But I just love looking back on this fabulous art from 2000 AD. So there's your 3 stories in one, and then advertising for the Judge Dredd issue there. But yeah, beautiful book. Super happy to get that. Replace my reader copy. So that will be going Potentially. I don't think there's much value on this book, to be honest. There should be, given the fact that it's the first strontium dog in US comics. But as I say, I'm being very mindful of this book with the tape. I'm pretty sure everyone is screaming at me right now. Don't take the tape off. But yes, it's a nice little sleeper hit there. Let me just catch up with the comments just quickly. We've got a lot of questions. Let's have a look. Let's just go through. Dan's Comic Corner. Hi, Vincent. When did the first 2000 AD comic book come out? First 2000 AD comic book came out, I'd like to say 1978, but I need to double check. But before we do that, I have a couple of friends backstage. I'll bring them on now. First is Mad Spidey.
Not everybody's going to Heroes, by the way. How rude.
No, I know, but you can live vicariously through us. This will be interesting. I may have to turn the chat off because it's going to override somebody, unfortunately.
If it's Vogs, it doesn't matter. I love you, Vogsy. I'm joking.
And it is.
Yeah, Vogs. Of course it is.
Hello.
Yeah, he can get covered. He's fine.
We can move it around. I can turn it off. It's great.
What's up, gents?
I haven't used it yet. It's just when you're looking at like on your phone or TV, you can barely even see it.
You can barely see it, but it's great on the TV. Oh well, on the TV you can see
TV. It's not too bad actually.
And then on the main internet screen, the browser, you can see it. So looking forward to checking it out later. I always sometimes I miss the chat, as you probably just saw. So
yeah,
I get engrossed in the comic book.
Which is nothing wrong with that, because you're telling the story, you're doing the bit, and that's all that matters.
I do. I need to find out when 2000 AD was first. 1977. I was close. I was pretty close. I knew it was around the same time Star Wars came out, so they sort of piggybacked on that. So, but this was 1986, I think, from memory.
I was going to say, it looks like an 80s book.
Yeah. So this was 1986.
Vibrant colors. Oh yeah.
Sorry, Vogs.
I said, yeah, with those vibrant colors, I agree.
Yeah. Well, I made the most of that on the thumbnail, if you noticed. I really amped up the yellow. Added a nice little colour touch to it. I'm going to turn you both up a minute because I can hardly hear you. Hopefully that now works. So welcome both. What's been going on in your world?
I was on his last night.
I ran Outback for way too long yesterday.
I was on 7 hours of it.
Try 11, Vogsy.
I know you did 11.
Nice.
When I was in bed, I woke up at 6, and then I went back to sleep, and then I looked. I'm like, oh, I wonder how long time over. I'm like, what? Because who was on at the end? It was Jean, you.
Yeah, Loke was on there, and Tate made a resurgence, which was great.
Yeah, that's good to see Tate again. I hope he's doing well.
Very good. So Sleepy Reader, this is the US edition. So yes, this came out in 1986, is my understanding from memory. And I think it came out pretty much around the same time as the Judge Dredd comics, the US ones as well.
Gotcha.
So, what else do we have? Let's just see if I've missed any good questions. Here we go. Clarification. JSS Brooklyn. I'm terribly sorry. Typically the years go out as Bronze Age. From 1970 to 1985, the Copper Age is 1985 to 2000. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's one of those debatable things.
See, I don't know if the Bronze Age is 80. I would not be saying.
I wouldn't have gone 84. I would have said like the pretty much the start of the 80s was the start of the Copper Age. No, yeah, maybe sort of 82, 83 onwards.
I wouldn't say Copper Age. For a 90s books, I wouldn't say Copper Age.
No, I'd call that modern.
I agree. That's my delineation, but clearly, so here's the thing about this. When we talk about the different ages, it's all unofficial anyway, right? Like someone has arbitrarily designed or just called a line in the sand. And I always see the end, like the 80s, not being Bronze Age. I always see it like as a distinct decade.
Yeah,
Right.
I classify the 80s, maybe even to the start of the 90s as the Copper Age, and then
Yes.
from like probably 92 onwards is your modern age.
Yes, I tend to agree with that approach. But
Like start of X-Men and Spider-Man self-titles, and obviously
yes,
Spawn and all that sort of stuff all started around that sort of 92 to 94 sort of era.
I would almost call the start of Image as the modern age.
I would.
Like that to me feels like that was where the industry splintered, and obviously all those.
I call it modern too.
Yeah. Well, what was it? Someone was trying to call them the hollow or the foil era or the foil age.
Oh, the 90s, which that's probably more of a like, I don't know, almost like a nickname sort of thing, I think, because it was very foily and hologrammy and gimmicky and all that sort of stuff. But
well, I'm now going to put some honorary books in here, 2 extra books, because according to JSS, they do qualify now under the Copper Age delineation. Right. So I should be doing that. The good news is this is really still a Copper Age book. So yes, thank you, John. I do appreciate that. It's one of those where I think everyone has their own sense of it, right? Dan's Comic Corner is going to he's not going to Heroes, nor is Spidey, sadly. No. It's only, I was working it out, I leave on Wednesday next week.
So Dave, I'll be getting, because I live there, I'm getting my pass Thursday afternoon.
Very good. I won't get mine until Wednesday morning first, Friday morning first thing.
Yeah,
I don't get to Charlotte.
So I'll be there all 3 days actually this year.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna arrive late Thursday, so maybe I might be able to make the Thursday night sort of traditional catch up at the Western Bar. But outside of that, I'm literally getting up stupid o'clock on the Friday, pick up the pass, and then hit the show floor, and then see how we go the whole weekend. And I'm potentially going to do a couple of lives on the show floor if I can work out internet.
Dave,
good luck with that.
Dave, are you is your pass a regular pass?
I was very lucky this year. I think the coverage that I provided last year did me quite well, so I'm gonna be getting on the press pass. I did have a VIP, but I did secure a press pass this year. So
nice.
I saw a list. They actually posted a list on the Heroes website of who's got press passes, and it looks like this year they're just handing them out to anybody. I'm not saying that as it being an insult to anybody or to Dave or anything like that, but looks like they're handing them out to anybody just about.
Yeah, I got an advanced pass, so I only get in 15 minutes early, but I'm getting to the convention center like 45 minutes before the con opens.
Yeah, well, as I say, it's going to be a very interesting one. I'm looking forward to it. I think there's, I know of a few people that have had press passes. As I say, I'm very keen to do some really big coverage on it.
I'm gonna do some footage with my phone. It's not gonna be great coverage, but I'll do like 5-minute videos here or there.
We can't all afford big, expensive, know, equipment and stuff like some other people.
I will.
Mr. Fancy Pants.
I don't know if it's big and expensive. It's
sorry, small and expensive. Sorry,
small.
Dude, E-Man's gonna be bringing a lot of tech stuff.
Yeah, I do like any con stuff. I just do it on my phone.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, it's just the easiest way to do it.
Yeah. JSS has got a bit of a clarification on the Copper Age. Copper Age ended in 92.
There you go. That's what I said, 92 to 94. So
I reckon that's the way to play it. I mean, again, most of these are pretty firmly in the Copper Age anyway. So
I've seen about 20 different interpretations of the years.
Yeah.
I think it's part. Some people have their personal ones, and some people sort of try and research it and then try and just find a happy medium between all the interpretations. But
Davina Duckworth's here. Hello, welcome to the show. JSS again has come back with another comment, and he's citing his source. And actually, this is a very good point. Overstreet Guide is obviously the one that defines that. So
excuse me.
I'm fine with that. 90s, this one's good. 90s is the dark ages. Really like that one.
I would call it the shiny ages, or as somebody said, the foil age, because that's exactly what it was. It was the age of holograms, die cuts, and foil, basically.
Yeah. Nate from Hoyer's here too. Hello, sir.
Up, Nate.
Welcome, Nate.
Hey, Nate.
Marvel had a great idea with their Epics comic imprint. Yes. I've just picked up a whole stack of Epics magazines.
Oh, Dave, I need to show you some pickups later after your show.
Yep. Yeah, sure. So yeah, they're coming through soon. They haven't arrived yet. They're apparently on their way. So yeah, Epic was a great line. Again, it's the same sort of issue with comic magazines versus comics. They weren't subject to the comics code, so they could be a bit more risque and edgy. So I'm looking forward to getting those because I actually haven't read a lot of those stories. So it'll be interesting to see when they come through.
If you want blood and boobs, there you go.
Blood and boobs. That's exactly it. I'm just checking now. There's a whole bunch of questions. I'll probably come back to them. Bronze Age.
We're still on the first book. Get to the next book.
I'll get to the next book. So the next book is number 3 with a Alan Davis. Oh, it's not an Alan Davis. It's an Eric Phillips cover of an Alan Davis creation, DR and Quince. Like this cover, with them sort of in the middle of the woods burning it down. DR and Quince was very offbeat and very Alan Moore, and not a lot of Alan Moore fans actually know about it, to be perfectly honest. So yeah, DR and Quince is one of mine. I always remember seeing ads for it, and that's how I managed to switch across.
So at this time, had the UK 2000 AD actually transitioned to the American format, or were they still in like the newspaper print type format?
They were always very much still in the newspaper print format. They continue. They're still running, right? The US piece was much more of an experiment for them to try and break into the US market.
Yeah,
right. And Eagle Comics didn't last that long. And then I think they got bought. There was another company, and I can't remember for the life of me off the top of my head. There was another US company. They tried rerunning Judge Dredd titles. But eventually they just started printing the UK ones over in the US.
Probably after the Stallone movie.
Yeah, that's generally the sort of start of it when he became much bigger. But as you can see here, right, like you get these fabulous covers, and again, I think this ran for about in the teens. I know that Judge Dredd, the first Eagle Comics series, ran for about 30 issues from memory. And in that, they had a whole host of like Brian Bolland exclusive covers that were created specifically for that. So, but yeah, these are great to pick up because you do get, the 3 stories. So you get Strontium Dog, Dio, and Quince, and obviously a Judge Dredd story on top because they had so much material by this point, right? They've been running since 1977, and they could pick and choose the stories. Like a good example is Judge Dredd issue 1. Right, so rather than go with the first story of Judge Dredd, so from his first issue in Prog 2, they just plucked possibly the greatest Judge Dredd story ever, which was Judge Death, right? So imagine the first issue of Judge Dredd in the US is...
So are these all technically reprinted stories?
These are technically all reprints, but they're different to the original because they're all in color, right? Which the originals weren't. So, yeah, they're classified as the first US appearance. And for collectors like me, it's a great boon because you get to see all of the artwork in full color that you wouldn't normally traditionally see. Nate said, I grab Eagle 2000 Dread books whenever I see one, but I don't think I've seen an Eagle 2000 in the wild before. They are around. These are actually more. I think these are more readily available than the actual Dread books, to be honest. So yeah, that again, it's. I'd be picking these up as well. Anything Eagle Comics, particularly the early in the runs, where they were picking the choice storylines. That's usually the ones I'd recommend to pick up. So that's my 2000 ADs. Slowly but surely making my way through those. These are really super high grade, as you can see. A lot of these are actually, to be honest.
Oh, now we're talking.
Picked up this one.
Oh my god. They did some goofy ass cameo stuff in the 80s, even in the mid to late 70s.
Just 1 second, my camera's gone off again.
Yeah, I just noticed that.
Here we go. That's better. Right, let's see. We haven't been running that long either. There you go. Oh, why is there two of me?
Now you got two of the same image.
Let me turn this one off. No, doesn't want to know. Just give me 2 seconds, gentlemen. Talk amongst yourselves about this event.
About these weird ass books that's got David Letterman's big fat head on the front cover. There you go.
That's better.
Yeah, you got it.
I do need to zoom in, but we won't. I can't do that right now. But we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, David Letterman on the front cover, Al Milgram cover, Joe Sinner on inks. Yeah, what more can be said to it? It was Assistant Editors Month. So for those who don't know, Assistant Editors Month was a month where anything could happen in the comic books, and generally it did. There were these sort of crazy stories. I think you had Aunt May as the
Herald of Galactus, and
yeah,
photo covers. I think too. Like sometimes they did like those movie/photo cover things.
I don't think that was that time.
Or was that more in the 70s?
No, it was earlier than this, I think. But the Assistant Editor Month was like slap bang right in the mid 80s. And it was just this weird, like maybe we did get one photo cover, but I don't think they were linked to the Assistant Editor Month.
Okay.
But yeah, they just use this as an excuse of some of these funny stories. What I like about it is you get the go-go checks at the top, and it's a rip on DC, as you can see.
I was going to say definitely a DC trademark.
Yeah, so you can see here MC rather than DC. But yeah, I pick these up, the Assistant Editor Month, whenever I can, because they some of the story titles were just ridiculous. And then I did have another Avengers for you. This storyline I remember really, really well. And it's funny to think that this was 6 or 7 years after the original. So for those, I'm not going to give it. This is not really spoilers nowadays.
Is this Atlantis Attacks around that time?
No. So this is the first introduction. So this is the start of the X Factor storyline, which is when I've gone again. Can you hear me still though?
Okay, yeah, you're totally fine. Your audio is fine. It's just
we'll do.
You might be muting your camera or somehow.
It's because the power's going on the camera. The camera doesn't want to know. How about now?
No, it's still off. We can still hear you fine though.
Well, we'll keep it running because this camera's still running.
You can do a CJ and we'll just watch your hands.
You just watch my hands. There you go. I can CJ it. So yeah, this is the start of X Factor. So this leads directly into X Factor #1, which is the reintroduction of Jean Grey. So Jean Grey's in this cocoon at the bottom of the ocean, which the Avengers find, and it's a crossover between the original X-Men who then become X Factor. So this leads directly into X Factor. I can't remember if it's Fantastic Four is the next one. I think it is. I think the next issue that's in this run is it goes Avengers 263, then Fantastic Four, and then X Factor #1.
It's actually ringing a bell because I have a lot of Fantastic Four books around that time.
Yeah.
So it could possibly, yeah. It does sound familiar when I used to read.
Yes. So as I say, I pick this up. I pick any of the X Factor runs as they come in, because they feel like at some point they've got to do the old, they've got to do justice to the Phoenix Saga. So that's a good little pickup. This one you're going to really like. Now, according to John's classification, this doesn't fit Bronze Age now, because this is from 1979.
That was a good year for me.
John's absolutely right. FF 286. So it goes Avengers 263, FF 286, and then into X Factor 1. And that's the reintroduction of Jean Grey. Controversial at the time. I don't know what, I think obviously they needed to bring it back. So this is the only outlier. This is not a true Bronze Age book. This is a copper. This is a true Bronze Age book, not a Copper Age. But I thought I wanted to show this because it's signed by Sal Buscema.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah, the old school on the first page.
Old school on the first page. So this is a Roger Mackenzie story. Sal Buscema, Jack Abel on art, signed by Sal Buscema. This is the stuff of dreams to me, like just opening up a book and finding a signature on the first page. So really happy to pick that up. Not a key issue, but just having a book signed by Sal makes that. I've got a whole bunch of Alpha Flights 1 signed by John Byrne as well. So nice. I'm going to move you vlogs, because if we can't see me, then we might as well cover my face with the chat. So that's that only bronze book in the mix here. And I wanted to show that because I'm trying to pick up signatures of these artists and creators as we go. And I've got a couple to show you as well. Here's one for you.
The Cloak and Dagger mini.
Rick Leonardi and Terry Austin on that cover. This cover is fantastic.
Yeah, I don't have that mini series, but yeah, I remember seeing the covers for them. They're awesome books.
Yeah, exactly. And they had 2 series. This 4-issue limited series, which I think throughout was completely Rick Leonardi art, but then they had their own title, which again was short-lived, unfortunately.
Yeah, it was only like 20 issues or something, I think.
Oh, even less than that. I think there was only 8 from memory. And again, this is a Leonardi and Terry Austin cover. Great cover there. One of the books that I pick up is, I think it's number 5, which is the 25th anniversary.
Oh, yeah, the border ones.
The border ones. And that one has a Rick Leonardi and Terry Austin cover, but you open it up and it's all Art Adams inside.
Oh, nice.
So that one is, if you can pick any of the Cloak and Dagger ones up, that's the one to get. But I think all of them had some really good guest star artists on it, despite the fact it was a short-lived run. So I always pick this one up, or pick these up when I see them. So super happy to get both of these. I'll finish off the entire run because it's a pretty short run. I'll probably be looking for these at Heroes. So we've got a Daredevil 199.
Oh, nice.
Nothing of any key significance here, but I just thought I'd show that one. So finally, trying to slowly but surely whittle away at my Daredevil series, and that's actually quite timely because the book that I'll be showing on the members mail call might have some Daredevil themes to it.
Oh God, I got a feeling I know what book's in there.
Maybe. Who knows?
If it's a second copy of something, I know exactly which book it is.
Maybe,
but I'm not saying anything.
I got a whole bunch of Marvel Ages, and a couple of these are going to be coming with me. This one I really love. So this is Marvel Age Annual number 1. Marvel Age Annual was a great book where it was almost like a fanzine for Marvel that Marvel put out, where they did previews of stories. But this one, their annuals, they obviously couldn't do previews. So they do like these weird. So it's a great. Don't want to damage it too much as we open it. It's got a great gatefold cover, right? I think it's Terry Gamble cover with all of the characters. But what you get in this one is a story that I think Jim Shooter wrote, or the concept. But it's got a page for each of the titles and a story about the Beyonder calling around, or editorial calling around asking for these pages. And there's Walt Simonson there, there's Bill Mantlo and Mike Mignola. So each of the titles had one single page with one single story. And it tells this whole story of basically the Beyonder ringing round all these heroes.
Oh my God. That is very random.
So a completely random storyline. But and again, you get all of the titles with the art. So you got Rick Leonardi. Sorry, Spuddy.
I said, yeah, there's Cloak and Dagger again, staying on point.
Cloak and Dagger again. You got Moon Knight. You got the Invisible Iron Man with Bob.
Silver Centurion armor, yeah.
Silver Centurion armor. You got Captain America, Mark Grunwald, Paul Neary on art. Power Pack's in here. The Eternals are in here. The Incredible Hulk's in here. But this one's my favorite. John Byrne was not happy with this page and the idea that Jim Shooter had presented with him. So it has this page here with, meanwhile, somewhere in the New Mexico desert, Doc Samson, telephone for you. Telephone? Who in the blazes would be calling me here now? They won't say, sir, just that it's urgent. It better be. Samson here. What? Who? Are you out of your mind? Do you realize what's going on? The Incredible Hulk has returned to Earth. Here, he's now under heavy restraints, and we're about to attempt the most dangerous operation conceivable. If we're successful, we'll be free of Hulk forever. Why do you waste my time with these questions? And hangs up.
So random.
But just a nice, crazy little piece of Marvel history there, because you get that crazy story and then an A to Z of all the titles that you can see here. So I just love picking this book up as well whenever I see it, because it is such a fun little book to go through. I
don't think I actually own any Marvel Age. I just don't think it ever sort of really sort of grabbed me. As to, I have a couple of the Marvel fanfares, but not the Marvel Ages.
Well, they weren't really stories. That one's unique because it is a story. But yeah, I do enjoy picking them up whenever I can. And I got a Marvel Age Annual 2, which again is another one. It's not as, I don't think they do a story in this one, or maybe they do. No, this is much more of a, highlights.
A who's who.
A who's who. I think there's a story at the beginning, which is
this is a plot
by Stan Lee and not Jack Kirby. Maybe just Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, actually. Yes. So yeah, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, and then you get all of these classic issues, deadlines, dates. So yeah, it's pretty. I'll pick them up whenever I can because they're a nice little snapshot of what was going on in the Copper Age in the Copper Age at the time in Marvel. So that's 1986. So firmly in there. And then I did pick this up. I'm going to take this to Heroes. This is the Letters to Marvel's Superheroes Secret Wars with Jim Shooter on the front. So I'll get him to sign that.
I've never even seen that. I've seen the first two books before around, but I've never seen this book.
Yeah, so this one is I've picked this one up recently, but it's as I say, this is what you'd standardly get in Marvel Age. You'd get just essentially the previews of the comics, and then you'd get in this one you've got Letters to Secret Wars, and then a little bit of extra footage in here from the Spider-Man suit, Fred Hembeck. I just like picking them up, mate, because they're just so rich in terms of the content you can get. And that one,
Marvel previews before Marvel previews.
Yeah. So I'll be taking that with me to Heroes. Got a Power Man and Iron Fist.
Nice.
77, featuring the Daredevil. I got a 79, Day of the Dreadlock. I think that's a Milgram cover. Yep. And talking in Milgram and Secret Wars, got a copy of Secret Wars 2. I still haven't finally finished this run in high grade. I'm debating whether I take this with me.
I bought the whole Secret Wars and Secret Wars 2 all in one eBay lot about 2 years ago.
Yep.
Because I didn't even have, like, you know, everybody would be like, oh, you'd have number 8, you know, if you had any of them. I didn't have any of them, so I just
you didn't have any of them.
No, so I just bought a lot off eBay for like $500 for the whole run of the original and Secret Wars 2. Not that Secret Wars 2 storyline is any great, but Secret
Wars 2 storyline has a couple of good moments, but it was really lackluster.
So subpar compared to the original.
Completely. I still believe that Secret Wars, the original, was a classic, and I've loved it. But I'll still pick up the Secret Wars 2. I've actually come to really appreciate Secret Wars 2 over the years, right? Because it was so bad, right? And there are some crazy moments.
That was the 80s too.
Yeah. And the fact that they want to kill the Beyonder as a baby, that sort of thing, it's very strange. But yeah, picked up issue 6 and the closing issue 9. All of these with Al Milgrom covers, with exception to issue 1, which had a fabulous John Byrne cover. But yeah, that was a big bait and switch, that book, I have to be honest. Because you'd have this beautiful John Byrne cover and you go, oh, we're going to get John Byrne art. And then you'd open it up, nothing.
Boom.
Yep. Then you're stuck with Al Milgrom, which at the time, as I say, I didn't appreciate. Now I completely appreciate his work, particularly on covers.
For sure.
Particularly on covers. Star Wars 91. I think that's Tom Palmer. Might be, Tom Palmer on art, I think. Let's just double check. I think so.
I think Brian's going for a whole run of that, and he's almost done.
Yeah, it's a tricky one, especially those later issues. I've got the last but one issue. I haven't got the last one. And I remember him fondly because I was picking them up in the UK at the time. Not the US copies, but the UK reprints.
Because most people collect, what is it, 42 for Boba Fett?
Mm-hmm.
Or something, yeah. So they'll I've known a few guys even over here that have literally just collected up to, let's say, 1 to 42 or 1 to 50 at the most, and haven't bothered about the later issues because I think they were lower print runs or something. I think the later issues too.
Yeah. I picked this one up.
I love Sergeant. I've started picking up war comics too.
Yeah, so I'm not normally into my war comics. But I do remember this one on the stands, which is why I picked it up. It's a classic Joe Kubert cover, right? And it's not your traditional war stories. It's war stories told from the perspective of youth, right? Of children. And I just thought this would be a great book to pick up because, again, that cover is just stunning and iconic. So I wanted to grab this one because it just brings home, like, you know, the horror of war, ultimately. So I thought that would be a good one to pick up. So we talked about Jim Shooter. I picked up a copy, and now this does qualify as Copper Age according to the classification. Solar Man of the Atom. This is Barry Windsor Smith cover. It was relaunched by this is Valiant and Jim Shooter on story, but this one's also, if you can see, signed by Jim.
Oh yeah, it's very. Maybe it's the lighting, but it's very hard to see it because it. Because it mixes in with the.
Mixes it in quite well
with the flames and the title.
So I'm really happy with that. That's a nice one to pick up. And if I just pulled these two out just specifically. We talk about foil goodness. How about that?
Banger.
Punisher 2099, issue 1. It is the direct edition, unfortunately. I would have liked the newsstand because they're slightly rare.
Don't be a snob.
But I love these 2099 foil covers. They're just so cool.
I think mine's an Aussie variant.
Oh, if you've got the Aussie reprint, those are worth quite a bit of money, Spidey.
I think so, because I was buying a lot of this stuff when they were coming out at the newsagents over here.
Yeah.
So in that sort of era, a lot of my like Amazing Run and all that sort of stuff are actually Aussie price variants. I never bothered replacing him because I just want the book for the run. Obviously, I'm not fussed about the pricing of it, But I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to find it, obviously, but
yeah. Well, I just love that. It was one of the ones I was missing. I've got the X-Men 2099. I've got loads of Ravage. So yeah, this was one that was missing. I got the Hulk 2099 first as well. But this one I needed, and yeah, I think it's pretty much done in terms of 2099 books now.
I don't think I have every number one. I think I have the majority of them, but not. I need to finish my Spidey 2099 run because I don't think I ever finished it.
Yeah, I need to check. Close my books out, and then Vlogs, you have a go, Vlogs.
Okay.
This is Legend of Zelda number 2. Again from Valiant. I do have Legend of Zelda number 1, which is the first appearance. I've got both the price variant edition and the standard one. So I'm picking these up. I think there were 6 issues in total. The background for this one is I bought these as a Christmas gift for my stepson because he was a massive Zelda fan, and I got into it because of that. So I'm just picking these up whenever I can because they are a nice little snapshot of video game history.
Yeah. A lot of people are going back now and actually buying a lot of the old video game orientated comics because some of them are quite rare.
The Mario one's super expensive.
Yeah.
So that's my only weakness. I'm only doing it for the Zelda ones and again more for my stepson so he actually gets to enjoy it. And again, he's got an investment grade copy of Zelda number 1. And nice. I bought one for myself as well. So, because I think at some point when there's Legend of Zelda movie gets made, these will jump up in price.
Hopefully.
All right, I'm going to try and turn this camera on. Vox, I'll hand the floor over to you, mate.
Mm-hmm.
What have you got?
So I think
it has to be Copper Age, Vox.
Right.
Is it Copper Age Vlogs?
I think a few of them are. I can't remember.
Pull it out and we'll decipher.
So I bought these at a comic/record store near my house. We got classic X-Men 18.
Let's have a look. I'm just coming back.
You need to.
Oh, you've gone off the main screen. Hang on. There you go. So that does count. That is. So I love that series. Will.
Yeah, I just pick up covers. I like I'm a big Batgirl, Rogue, Batman. Like my collection's all over the place.
Hang on, 2 seconds. I'm just sorting out this bloody camera.
Because just let me have admin and I'll bloody do it.
It's all right. I'm working it out. There you go.
There we go.
Now I can do that.
Yep.
I can remove this, and I can make you big.
Okay. We got
bloody amateurs. I don't know.
We got World's Finest 219.
Well, that'd be a bronze.
That would be bronze.
There you go. That's not bronze.
No, that's
20 center.
That's almost golden. No, it's silver, isn't it?
No, 20 cent is the start of the bronze.
Let me look.
Oh, unless it's a bigger book, it might have still been silver. What year is it?
I'm looking right. 73.
Yeah, bronze.
Bronze.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like my old books too. I really do. I like modern.
Look at the way you're treating.
Oh my god, you're making me cringe.
Oh. Jeez, Will.
Shout out to Rob Fatstacks.
That is pure Copper Age.
Yeah,
well
that's
done
Copper
there.
Age, 100%.
And Dave, you know I like horror like you do.
Yep.
Dell 12 center ghost stories.
So that's not. So,
that's
yeah,
that's
it's a
cool.
great cover though.
Mm.
That's beautiful.
I don't remember what year this is.
20 cents is definitely bronze. I don't know why this camera keeps switching.
This
Now you
is
got
a
a
12 center.
fisheye lens. Yeah, that's silver age.
Yeah, but that's what I picked up recently.
Very good.
Nice.
Well, all right, gents. That's your lot. I will see everybody in an hour's time. An hour and a half. Is it an hour's? No, an hour's time. And I will be doing the members. Actually, what I should do. How do I do this? So before we go, just 1 second. There is an ability for me to give away memberships.
Ooh, wait.
Which
I've never done. I've seen a lot of people do it. I've never personally done it.
I'm going to see how I can do it just quickly. So if everyone could bear with me, Spidey, have you got any books you want to show?
No, where are they? I do have. It's nothing special. Oh, it is special because Sean AOK'd them to me.
Show me some stuff while I try and work this one out. I do want to try and see if I can do
You'll have to do it in YouTube, not in StreamYard.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Let me
go to
obviously, for us, it's this past weekend now because it is Monday. We had our big Oz Comic Con. I didn't go because it's not worth it anymore to go to big cons over here. But I did get told by Zaz Collectibles and Comics, Sean, that he had a couple of books for me. So he actually I think I'm not quite sure of the significance of these, but I think they were done.
I know that's a pretty big one.
They were done as, I know the covers are from the Marvel Masterpiece series. Yeah. I think this was from series 2 or series 3.
Yeah, that's cool.
The main one that I wanted, and I think because Sean was rubbing it in my face, obviously in recent times I've done some unboxings of the remastered 92 Marvel Masterpiece cards, been doing some box breaks. And I still have not got this card, but this is one of my favorite cards.
I might be able to help you out.
Images.
Nice.
So he's like, "Oh, I'll get you the comic cover version instead," saying you haven't got the actual card yet.
Awesome.
But yeah, Sean generously A-OK. So Beck was actually working at Oz Comic Con on the weekend, just on the Sunday, so yesterday, and he generously gave them to me.
Wonderful. So I'm going to generously, similarly to Sean, I'm going to generously give 5 memberships to anyone in the chat. So hopefully we'll see how this goes.
Yep, there it is. Popped up.
5, still only 35 memberships. So Vogs, you got 1. Stephen Spock got 1. Ben Compton got 1. Unhinged got 1. And Circumstances got 1. So Marcus got 1.
Not that.
So how long does it last for? A month, right?
So we've got 12 people in the chat. I'm going to give. I think I can give away another 5.
I think you can give up to 10 at a time.
Give 10 a month. 10 a month. So I'm giving them away
so
now.
How long do they last? The memberships
just a month.
For a month.
It's just a month.
You'll be able to join the live stream in an hour's time, where we'll be doing the bigger books.
Cool.
So the Watcher, E-Man's got 1, Rascal Man Rags, Hydrus 96, and Joe C. So let's see.
Thank you, Dave.
You're most welcome. All right, gentlemen, I will call it at that. Let me just bring us to the standard view. So we're a little bit. There you go.
Yeah, get this ugly mug off the big screen.
Thank you so much for joining. Glad you enjoyed the books. I think there's been some interesting books and discussion. Awesome. But great hanging out, and I will hopefully see some of you in an hour's time on the new Mega Members Mail Call Show. And Spidey, I'm assuming you'll join because you want to see if you're right.
Yeah, I want to see if I was right.
All right, I will see you soon. Have a great stream, everyone. It's been great. See you very soon.